Alright, imagine this, a massive tablet, bigger than most laptops, powered by a next-gen flagship chip that hasn't even properly hit the mainstream yet, and it might actually outperform some laptops while still being insanely thin. Yeah, that's exactly what's being leaked right now about the Vivo Pad6 Pro, and honestly, this could be one of the most exciting Android tablets of the year if these specs turn out to be real. But here's the thing. There are a few details that make this way more interesting than just another spec upgrade, and that's what we're breaking down today. Before we go deeper, if you're into real tech breakdowns without the fluff, make sure you hit subscribe and drop a like right now, because we're about to get into something seriously interesting. So let's start with the display, because this is where things already start to feel premium. The leak suggests a 13.2-inch panel, which is huge, like properly laptop-sized huge. And if you've ever used a big tablet, you already know how big of a difference that makes for multitasking, gaming, and even content consumption. Now, the previous Vivo Pad 5 Pro already had a 144Hz refresh rate, so expectations are high that this new model is going to either match or push beyond that. And at this size, a high refresh rate isn't just a luxury. It actually changes the experience completely. Scrolling feels smoother, animations look cleaner, and gaming just hits different. But the real story here is performance. Because according to the leak, this thing could be powered by the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5. Now, if that's true, this is not just a tablet chip. This is flagship smartphone-level power, possibly even beyond that. We're talking about a processor that's designed for high-end gaming, heavy multitasking, and serious performance workloads. So imagine running multiple apps side by side, editing videos, or even pushing high frame rate gaming. This tablet might actually handle it without breaking a sweat. And this is where it gets interesting from a real-world perspective. Tablets have always kind of sat in this weird middle ground, right? Not as portable as phones, not as powerful as laptops. But devices like this are slowly changing that. With a chip like this, you could realistically use it as a main device for a lot of people, especially if Vivo nails the software experience. Now let's talk cameras, because yes, even though it's a tablet, they still matter. The leak points to a 13-megapixel rear camera and an 8-megapixel front camera. Nothing crazy on paper, but let's be honest, nobody's buying a tablet for photography. What actually matters is video calls, online classes, meetings, and as long as that front camera is clear and stable, that's all most people need. Battery life is another area where this thing could seriously impress. The rumored capacity is around 13,000 milliamp hours, which is actually bigger than what we saw on the previous model. And if you combine that with efficient chipset optimization, this could easily be an all-day device, maybe even more depending on usage. And then there's fast charging, up to 90 watts. That's laptop-level charging speed. So even if you drain it, you're not stuck waiting around forever. Now here's something a lot of people overlook: build quality. The previous generation already had a solid metal build, and if Vivo keeps that same design language, this is going to feel premium in hand. And at this size, build quality really matters, because you don't want something that feels cheap when you're holding a device this big. Let's talk timing, because this is where things get even more interesting. The tablet is expected to launch in China around March, alongside the Vivo X300 Ultra and the Vivo X300s. That means Vivo is planning a full flagship ecosystem push, not just a single device launch. But the big question is global availability. And right now, that's still unclear. And this is important, especially if you're watching from outside China, because Vivo has a history of launching some of their best devices in limited markets. So even if this tablet turns out to be amazing, getting your hands on it might not be that easy. Hopefully that changes this time. Quick pause. If you're still watching, drop a like and let me know in the comments. Would you actually replace your laptop with a tablet like this? I'm really curious because this is where tech is heading right now. Now, stepping back and looking at the bigger picture, this tablet isn't just about specs. It's about where the market is going. We're seeing Android tablets slowly evolve from media consumption devices into actual productivity machines. And if Vivo delivers on software, accessories like keyboards or stylus support, and optimization, this could seriously compete with devices from Samsung or even Apple in certain use cases. But of course, we have to stay realistic. These are still leaks. Things can change. Performance might be different in real-world use. Pricing could make or break this device. And software optimization, That's always the big question with Android tablets. Still, if even 80% of this turns out to be true, the Vivo Pad6 Pro could easily become one of the most powerful and interesting tablets of 2026. Big display, flagship chip, massive battery, fast charging, it's ticking a lot of the right boxes. So yeah, this is definitely one to keep an eye on. And as soon as more details drop or this thing officially launches, you already know we're going to break it all down. Make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, and stay tuned for more tech updates just like this.